So we're back on the pod.
We're back. Hello, viewers and listeners. We're happy to be here.
We are. We're happy to be here. We have an inspiring writer joining us today, Dena Dizdar Plumer. She came to LA later in life and reinvented her career because she wanted to keep living an invigorating life, and she has a lot of interesting things to say about that. She's now an active vertical writer and is the writer of Vampires Knock Twice, which won the Romance Award for ReelShort's vertical competition last year. We're excited to talk to her.
Yeah, it's going to be a good interview. I'm looking forward to getting to know her.
Yeah. Let's talk about what life is like as working vertical writers right now.
Yeah. I supposedly have 2 projects coming very shortly. The paperwork has not been filed, but one is an original idea and the other was pitched to me by the company, and I developed it for, in a synopsis, and they like it. And if I were smart, I would start working on either of these right now to get ahead of the game.
What does your day look like? You're a mom, you have other things going on. How do you find the time to write?
Well, I write while my kid is at school. I'm pretty disciplined about trying to sit down and ignore all the housework that is always calling to me. Maybe I'll throw a little laundry in, but if there are dishes in the sink, the dishes are staying in the sink till the evening.
Yeah.
Things that I can do, things that I can get done when my kid is home, I will wait to get done when my kid is home, because I can't write when he's home, for the most part.
So you have like 2 lives. You have mom life and writer life.
I do, but in general, I've been way more productive as a mom because I knew that. I was like, I've got 3 hours or whatever time frame I have, and I need to get stuff done in these hours or it doesn't get done. So I actually feel like I've been way more productive as a mom than I ever was as a single person with no responsibilities.
Well, you know what they say, if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Yeah, it's true.
Sadie Smith said that she would never have the discipline to write if she didn't have kids.
Yeah, I'm kind of with her.
Yeah.
And it was also mental for me too. Like, I have to write now. This is my escape. This is my time to think about what I want to think about and not what I need to think about. So
totally. I mean, that's why I finished this script that I sold when I did, was because somebody gave me a deadline.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's do it. I love a deadline. I love a reason to finish something because you'll never get it done otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then once you have that contract in place and it needs to be done,
then you just focus.
And you focus.
Yeah. You can't dilly-dally and think too much. It's another thing that's great about verticals. No time to think.
There's no time to think. You're right. You're right. I did watch a vertical I could share.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It's called Made for My Nemesis, and that's MAID, and it is on ReelShort, and it is much like My Crush Thinks I'm a Boy, just an adorable YA comedy. And it stars, I looked up, now the writer is not listed. ReelShort writers are in-house, so I don't know if they always list them on the website. But I did look up the actors because it's an adorable duo. It's Meg Bush and Ben Armstrong, and they're in a few together. Like, obviously the chemistry is really great between the two of them, and they do a great job. They're both really strong.
Nice.
So I definitely recommend checking it out, especially if you like YA, enemies to lovers. Does not have the misogyny themes we are excited to avoid. So I think it's a really great vertical.
All right. What's the title again?
Made for My Nemesis. And then again, that's MAID.
Nice.
Because she becomes his maid.
Yeah. Very clever.
I love a good pun. Like, how can you not love a good pun title?
Clever puns and hooks in these verticals.
We should do a top 5 vertical titles list at some point, because there's some really great ones out there.
It's totally. At some point we were talking about doing a 100 slap segment, but it seems like their slaps have been reduced.
I hope we're reducing the slaps.
Slaps have been significantly reduced.
But we could have a nostalgic slap list.
Slap
the best
rewind.
slaps. I actually like that idea too. I also want to just tell our listeners, we are trying to grow our community, so I have started a Facebook page. You should be able to search up VertiGals. And Natalie watches over our Instagram page. These are great ways to reach us. So
yeah, if you have questions for us for anything or about anything you've heard, or you want to talk to us, those are the places to reach us.
Or if you want to yell at us.
Yeah, or if you want to tell us we've offended you in some way, these are the platforms on which you can do that.
Yes. And then also, if you're on Apple, if you're listening on Apple, we love reviews. If anyone wants to start writing some reviews,
Yeah,
that'd be great. Preferably good reviews.
I think we're gonna dump all these on Spotify soon too.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah. So, all right, let's bring Dena on. Dena Dizdar Plumer is an LA-based vertical microdrama writer from Texas. After 25 years as a copywriter and exec in advertising, Dena went back to school to get her MFA in TV and screenwriting in 2024, just when microdramas were beginning to burst out on the scene in the US. She quickly immersed herself in the world of verticals, eventually writing and producing a vertical proof of concept with her director-collaborator Laura Jean Bransky that won the top romance in ReelShort's vertical creator competition. You can find it on the ReelShort app. Dena has written for drama shorts, and she has more verticals in production for new apps coming out in 2026. And Allison and I met Dena for the first time in Isabel Dreon's incubator, and we are so thrilled to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. Now, wait, we weren't in the same incubator.
True, I was in the first
Summer
one.
But Isabel's incubators are a community in and of
Exactly.
themselves, so
Totally.
that's how we knew your name and who you were. And
I think we met at the vertical market.
Yeah.
Because of the connection.
Where we saw your vertical proof of concept, Vampires Always Knock Twice, which won the ReelShort romance competition.
Yes,
Which is so exciting.
it
Congratulations.
is exciting.
Are there plans to expand that into a full series yet? I hope
Well,
there are.
right now it lives on the ReelShort app, and they have rights to it for 2 years because we won.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll see what happens there.
And what inspired that concept as a vertical? As a viewer, it felt very much like Jane Austen in the vampire world, but I want to know where the inspiration came from.
Very much so. So Laura Jean Bransky and I got together to do this proof of concept, and she and her husband have a studio in LA, and they have a small back lot, and her husband had built just a wall of doors. And so I knew I wanted to use those doors in what I wrote. And so I wrote it around the doors. That's really where it came from. And it just seemed like vampires were a good genre for us to use to knock on the doors. The doors kind of look Victorian, so we made it Victorian age. Yeah, we really just wanted to have fun with it. Laura Jean has always wanted to do a period piece, and so we incorporated that in it too.
That's really cool that you were able to like identify a location and write around the location. That feels like
Yes.
a really productive way to write a vertical and limit cost.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I love the challenge of writing to what you have available.
Yeah.
I think that we do that a lot in vertical writing
Totally.
with our small budgets, but also the small screen. So I like that challenge.
So you knew when you saw the doors, did you think that it would shoot well for a vertical?
Totally.
That's what inspired it.
Yes.
Nice. So let's rewind a little bit. You have a really inspiring story. You weren't living in LA. You moved out to LA to go back and get your screenwriting degree later in life. Tell us a little bit about what drove you to do that and what your experience was where you went, and how, if your education led you to verticals, or really what got you interested in the space.
So like you said, I came from 25 years in advertising. But I lived in Dallas, and that was really the closest thing to entertainment that I could do in Dallas. And so for a long time, when I was raising my family, that was wonderful. But I always knew I did not want to write about furniture and checking accounts for the rest of my life. And so when my kids were at a good place, old enough in college, I decided, okay, now it's time for me. So I realized after writing a pilot that I did not know how to write a pilot. And so that's when I went back to school. And so my program is the MFA in TV and screenwriting. It's through Stevens College, which is a university that's in Columbia, Missouri. But this program is out here in LA. So every semester, we would come to LA for 10 days at the beginning of the semester. And then we would go home, wherever home was, and we would work with our instructors who are all WGA writers, and write scripts, and we had a history class and all of the things. So that was all online, but then we would come back at the beginning of the semester and meet with our instructors again and have intensive classes. So I graduated from that in 2024, and that's when I moved out to LA. My husband is still in Dallas. He has a job there. Yeah. And so I live here because I really felt like this is where you need to be. If you really, really, really want to pursue screenwriting, whether it's microdrama or whatever, you need to be here. You need to be here to meet the people in your industry, to network. We wouldn't know each other
Totally.
Yeah.
if I didn't live here.
It definitely makes it harder not being in Los Angeles
I
because
think so.
of things like the vertical market, things that you meet face to face, and if you don't have access to those, even random events, like there was an event last night where people got together, they really do make a difference. I'm not saying you can't do it from elsewhere in the world, but
Yes.
there is absolutely the people that I think are having most success right now are meeting people face to face and making these contacts here. So it's an advantage for sure.
For sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, there's vertical mixers
Mhm.
Yeah.
here, and I've gotten work from
Yeah.
going
I
to
know.
vertical mixers and meeting people. So
How did you meet Laura, your directing partner?
I met her at a different mixer, at Women of Hollywood, and we just clicked right away. She's, I like to say, the younger version of me. Yeah, she's a doer.
Love that.
You can't just talk about things you want to do. You have to actually do them.
Yeah.
And that's really how we connected, and we just kept meeting up and talking about different things that we wanted to do, and then we actually did them.
It's amazing that her husband has a studio, that they have
Yes.
a place to shoot. That's great.
Yes, that is amazing. He's a lighting and grip
Oh, okay.
guy.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah,
That's very helpful.
it's very fortunate for
Yeah.
us.
Was there a vertical writing class that you took in your screenwriting program, or did you come into verticals later?
No,
I
not yet.
came to them later. So I graduated in the spring of 24. And that's really sort of infancy of microdramas here
Right.
in the US. Obviously, they've been going on in China for quite a while, but really nobody knew about them. So
How did you find them? How did you stumble across them?
because when I moved here, it was my job to immerse myself in the industry. I was constantly reading the trades. I was going to different events, and people were talking about them, and I kind of was like, what is that? And I read everything I could get my hands on, and watched every podcast, everything I could get my hands on to learn about it. And I realized this is where I belong.
What appealed to you about them?
Well, for me, it really kind of is like the perfect marriage of what I did for 25 years.
Yeah, seems like it.
And then the narrative aspects of what I went back to school to do. And so it really kind of is the sweet spot for me because there's a marketing aspect to microdramas. And I love that because that's where I live.
Yeah.
So that
Yep.
really appealed to me.
Talk about that more. Like, how does your advertising background give you an edge in vertical storytelling?
Well, for one thing, I'm starting to work with a branding company to write microdramas organically around brands. We haven't done this, but an example would be if the brand was like Lululemon and we wrote a microdrama that was set in a yoga studio and our characters are always wearing Lululemon. So organically incorporating brands into the story. Not so much that it's obvious and in your face, but it's kind of woven into
Yeah. It's
Product
brand
placement.
integra-
A little like,
brand integration.
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You know it's coming. We all know it's coming.
it's here.
It's here.
It's
I feel like it's
definitely here.
already, yeah.
Yeah.
It took
Yeah.
off in China a few years ago. And I mean, I was recently having a conversation with a friend who's he works at an advertising agency. And I was like, I'm getting into these microdramas. And he's like, oh, they're like TikTok videos. I'm like, no, they're like scripted little episodes. He's like, oh, so they're like YouTube videos. And I was like, no, not quite. And I just show them to him. And of course, I have to really validate my authority when telling him what they are. And I was like, listen, it's like if you have a product that you need an ad for, I can write a little mini movie about your product and put it on one of these platforms, and people are addicted to these, and they will probably subconsciously absorb that they need to buy your product. And he was like, oh.
Yeah.
And it
No.
resonated with him in that context. And to me, it felt very endemic to advertising immediately.
Definitely. I know Procter and Gamble just did one, and Maybelline.
Maybelline did one.
That one was a little different. That one was more like a Hallmark movie.
With Maybelline in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
But brands are trying different things, and
Yeah.
I love that. I love it.
Do you feel like your writing work in advertising directly translates into the way that you write verticals?
Yes.
And in what way?
I think, well, especially for the kind of work that I was doing, you only have so much space
Right.
to get your point across.
Right.
And I mean, that's microdramas. You only have 2 minutes to pique someone's interest and to leave them wanting more. And I love the challenge of writing to certain parameters. And still trying to be creative within those parameters. Yeah, and I pull that experience from advertising into this. There's no slow burn.
Right.
We're not doing setups. We're not building up to anything. Like in microdramas, we hit them hard from the beginning.
Totally. Are you also working toward writing longer form projects while working in microdramas, or are you fully
Always.
focused?
I think all of us who are writers are always sort of doing that for ourselves as passion projects. What I hope is that microdramas begin to be sort of the catalyst for making that IP into something else, into a feature film or a TV show. I think that there is the possibility of a great possibility of that happening.
Well, we have recently there was an announcement that I don't remember the title of the microdrama, but it was some sort of romance is going to be turned into a movie. I mean,
yes,
as you know, as a former TV executive, like this is what I was doing. I was mining the internet for IP, and that remains the case for a lot of different projects. And I mean, I think that there will be the opportunity, at least for some of the IP coming out of this very saturated market.
definitely.
I think a question that a lot of our listeners are probably curious about is, are you able to make a living as a microdrama writer?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Do you have any tips for people who are trying to make a living as a writer in this world?
First and foremost, get on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is where it's at. I think that you have to establish your presence there. You have to connect to as many people in the microdrama world as possible, especially if you don't live in LA.
Mm-hmm.
You really, really have to connect and be active on there and be supportive and comment on what's going on. But it's also a source of news.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
People are posting articles and different things their companies are doing. You need to stay abreast of what is happening because it's all changing very rapidly. So really, really get active on LinkedIn. Also, there are all sorts of WhatsApp groups that we're all a part of where people are talking about what's happening. So get involved in those things. Read Isabel Drayon's book.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to know the ins and outs of proper writing, but also she talks about the business. She talks about the business aspect. So that's a great resource. But also don't be complacent. I think that every day you have to get up and what am I going to do today to move the ball down the field?
Yep, it's a hustle.
Well, and you and I have, what we have in common is that we had produced samples early on, which I think have helped both of us to what you said earlier about, taking initiative, find a director, pair with a director who also wants a sample. That's what happened to both of us. Having a produced sample makes a difference.
I wholeheartedly support doing a proof of concept. You can crowdfund it. You can beg your friends and family to help you pay for it. You don't have to spend a lot of money doing it.
You don't need a lot of scenes. I mean,
not
yours
really.
Was yours 4 episodes?
Four
yeah,
episodes.
So it doesn't even need to be like the full 10 episodes.
Yes.
And can we ask what the budget on those 4 episodes was?
We spent $5,000 because we paid actors. We paid some professional crew. But I don't think you have to do that. I think you could shoot it on your phone. It's just to showcase your writing and what you can do and what it could look like, what your writing could look like.
Did you spend a lot on the costumes?
We did spend a lot on the costumes, but that was a personal choice because it was a period piece. But yeah, we didn't have to. Right. We didn't have to.
Yeah.
It looked great, though. I mean,
thank you.
It looked
definitely helped the atmosphere.
Really looked elevated.
You're talking to some apps experimenting with AI produced episodes.
Yes.
So what's your gut reaction when that conversation started?
It's a mixed bag. I think for all of us, it's a mixed bag because we know AI's here and it's going to be incorporated somehow in what we're doing. All of us hope that it does not replace our jobs. But one of the things that I think about is if an episode is produced using AI, but it's written by a human, how is that different than animation? Humans are still producing using AI.
Yeah.
We still need the humans to produce the AI produced episode. Just like in animation, we have humans doing the animation. So in that sense, I'm not against it. As a viewer, I'd rather watch live action than an AI generated story. But that's just a personal preference. It's scary. It's just kind of scary times. And you don't want to be viewed as someone who supports something that would take away other creatives' jobs. So it's really kind of a fine line, and we're all trying to feel our way through this. The company that I'm talking to, they are testing one episode at a time. So I write the episode, they produce it using AI, and they sort of test that. Now, what they do after that
Is the AI live action?
It is live action AI, yes. What they do after that is unclear. Does that mean that they will produce the entire series using AI? Or does that mean they will then go and hire actors? I'm not sure. I don't think they're sure.
Yeah, right. I use AI openly. I produce, I edit. I use it as a tool.
Yes.
And writing as well. I use it as a tool. I will admit to, I don't think it
Absolutely.
can write. I don't think it can write one of these, but I think it can give you ideas. I think it can get you unstuck. And I think it can sometimes it can't, but sometimes it can talk you through certain things in your own head. And I think when you have 4 days to write something, you don't, Vince Gilligan was quoted earlier this year saying that Pluribus was written entirely by human beings. And I think that's great when you have $15 million per episode and 4 years.
Right.
And you're Vince Gilligan.
And you're Vince Gilligan. That's beautiful. I love it. Microdramas need to be written in a week. And,
Yes.
Sometimes you get stuck and nobody has the time to talk to you about your idea. So, yes, I support if this can help creatives get work done and make a living and get it over the line in time. I think that it is an excellent tool.
Yeah.
I think its limitations, at least right now, are consistency and creativity and also
emotion.
Well, I
It
mean, and
thinks it
quality. I
understands
mean,
emotion.
I don't even think it's worth talking. Like the quality of it is just some of it is good enough, right? I create pitch sizzles with it. I think it does the job, gets the point across. I think it enhances the experience. I've created a pitch deck for the microdrama that is currently going into production, and I think that got it over the line. And I used AI to do the images because it will show you who the characters are and give you a sort of visual experience that we couldn't do before. You'd have to hire. Now, am I sad that I am not hiring a deck creator to do it? I mean, yeah, that sucks, right? It is inevitably
anyway. Like that's my point. Like I think about that. I probably wouldn't have spent that money.
$10,000 on a deck,
Right,
right?
you
So
can't do that.
what it's in one way you can look at it as it's eliminating jobs because it is, and in another way I think you can look at it like it's democratizing things because now everybody has the capability to actually get their creativity out there, and I think we're going to see how that's going to all kind of evolve.
I think you're right. And I think every innovation throughout time, there was resistance
Of
at
course.
the beginning.
Exactly.
My favorite example of that is that somebody used to get paid to stay at the end of the bowling alley to restack the pins. That job is long gone.
I mean, not to mention like, I mean, email, right? Just email. Think about I think life was easier, slower, and probably much clearer before email. But what it does is it expedites things for better and for worse. And I think that's what we're going to see happen here is that this is not, I don't think that this is going to completely take over human innovation and creativity. I don't think it's going to have the capacity to do that. I do think it's going to expedite things and slim things down.
I do think it's our job as human beings to put up those boundaries.
Absolutely.
Though.
Yes.
This has to be in the hands of the right people with the right ethics.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And
no problems there.
I heard somebody say AI never had childhood trauma. And that's true. And we pick up on something that's not authentic if we're watching it and it was written by AI. We can tell.
I think it's going to maybe turn into its own genre, like anime.
Yeah.
In that way of like, I know a few former animators who are now using AI to create images in a way that they never could before. And in a lot of ways, it's really cool because you have the creative mind of an animator now doing these three-dimensional realistic images and doing things with them we've never really seen before. And it's a new form of art.
What I like about it is, let's say I'm trying to flesh out a log line. It gives me a starting point. And 99% of the time, that starting point is wrong. But in being wrong, it helps me figure out what I want.
Yeah.
In a way that doesn't necessarily happen in my head alone.
Exactly.
So it's almost like by giving me the wrong answers, it's helping me hone in on the right answers. And I think it's great for that.
Yeah.
I call it a writer's calculator. Like it is It's helpful for character bios. It's helpful for things like that, logistical writing.
It's also helpful. I always thought I'm like a pretty decent writer. I can write a pretty eloquent email, and I put
I love it
one
for
through
emails.
ChatGPT the other day, and I was like, wow,
Oh gosh.
I'm not as good as I thought I
I
was.
do. I
Like,
love
that
it
is
for emails.
better.
I don't have the
sound-
brain power to.
I sound so professional. That's so
Exactly.
not me.
It doesn't matter there. I mean, listen, we've all proven we can write emails. It's just at this point, I like with.
It cleans it up.
It helps a
Yeah,
little.
it's great. It's great for
That's
that.
great. And so do you write the scripts for them? That's what you're saying, that you were
Yes.
writing the scripts.
hmm
And they're not using AI for the scripts. They're just using.
I'm not using.
Yeah.
No.
You've said the people in VertiGals are your favorite part. What's different about this space compared to traditional film and TV or the advertising world in your experience?
A term that keeps coming up is gatekeeping. I haven't experienced gatekeeping within the vertical world. People are just very open and want to share and collaborate and lift each other up. And that's really unusual. It really is. And what I've experienced is people are just so nice. And
Totally.
we just talked about how I moved out to LA 2 years ago. Well, the image that people have in their minds about Hollywood and LA is there's a bunch of jerks, and there are jerks. There are jerks everywhere. But I think specifically in the microdrama world, people are just so
Yeah,
nice.
I haven't found them yet. And my theory on that is that it's a largely female-driven industry.
Oh.
That's my theory on that.
Well, I think that the people who are attracted to the space right now have very low egos. We understand the
Yes.
potential. Yes, there's some things that are melodramatic, cheesy, whatever word you want to pick. But first of all, like, I want to be paid to write, and I'm fine as long as like I can do that stuff within reason. Maybe, without all the misogynistic elements would be great.
Yes.
But I feel like if we're here, we're just open to it right now, and we're not here because we have we have too much pride to let us try these things. We're just here to be open.
I also
and
think
experiment.
everybody's here because they want to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I have 15 years in traditional Hollywood, and I got into it because it was really fun in the beginning, and it completely lost that element to itself for the past few years. And like, I love this. Like, every day is, first of all, every day there's a yes. And second of all, every day there's someone cool that's willing to talk to you. And every day there's some new information. And every day there's something creative. And I can just sit down and write something and be like, yeah, maybe this will work. And people will talk to me about it. Like, it's low stakes enough and fun. And you can be creative. And there's ample opportunity for where this is all going and what we can do with it. And we're building something. How thrilling is that?
It is exhilarating.
Totally.
It really is.
It really is.
What, in your opinion, makes a great vertical?
Ooh. Emotion. I mean, you have to grab the audience right away. But for me, it's not the emotion of kicking a pregnant woman in the stomach.
Oh my God.
Those I could do without. It's more like I could see myself in these characters. I could see
Totally.
myself in these stories. I think it's emotion. I think
Yeah.
that's what keeps people swiping.
I got a really great note from a producer I'm working with. Not a note, but more like a guideline where writing verticals isn't so much about story as much as it's about experience. And I think that's what we're all responding to. I watched The Road Between Us on Gamma Time this week, and
I love it.
it was like a Diane Lane
Yes.
movie. It was like
Yes.
that woman, that emotional experience that she had was like, any woman can relate to that. Being seen, having someone show up and give you what you need. I mean, how many of us are starving for that? It was just
Yes.
like so emotionally poignant, and they're doing it differently than these other apps are doing it, and that I think they're creating things that are grounded and relevant to a
I
more
agree.
domestic audience, and it's getting there. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting there, and I hope that that's where this goes, not just for the current audience that's engaging with it, but for everybody.
Yes. That's one of my favorites right now.
It's really good.
It's
the
really
all
good.
the vineyard, the elements to it. Just I was all in.
The perfect man.
I actually felt better after watching it.
Well, how nice.
I know.
Yeah, I applaud them for taking, we're not looking at two 20-year-olds, which that's great too. That has its
Yes.
place, but I appreciate them taking a risk,
Totally.
showing some reflection of their viewing audience.
Well, people who can see themselves. And, it's
Exactly.
funny, when we
Yes.
were at the Vertical Drama Market, the fan panel said that they would like to see themselves in these, but the men
Yes.
still have to have an 8-pack. And I feel like they nailed it in this one.
Is that a double standard? We're allowed to have some double standards.
We're
now
allowed
as
to,
women.
I mean, come on.
We
We
were
can
in the
have our
right.
spaces.
That's right. I love that.
So we already talked about the bold move that you made to come to LA after finishing your master's in screenwriting. Are you open to talking at all about how you've managed a bi-coastal family life and what that trade-off has looked like emotionally and creatively for you?
It's hard. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's hard. But I think we only have one life.
Mm-hmm.
And we just talked about how this space is exhilarating. Well, who doesn't want their life to be exhilarating? So the trade-off for me is, yeah, I could go back home, but I wouldn't have this life. And my husband understands that.
That's
great.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
props to him. I mean, that's awesome that he's supportive like this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's not perfect, and it's not something I think everyone would do. But we figure it out. We make it work. Yeah, it's not easy. And my kids live in Texas also. They're older. They have their own lives, but I still want to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do. I go back to Texas probably once a month. They come here when they can for weekends, and we figure it out. We talk a lot. Thank God for FaceTime. And
Yeah. It's so different now. You can have family. I have I'm the only living member of my family in the United States, and FaceTime makes that work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to craft the life that you want, and there's trade-offs for sure. And I guess that's a big one.
That's a big one. But it's true with every marriage, right? Like
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't able to venture out into the entertainment industry because of where we lived and the time that it was. But now I can, and now I am.
Yeah. All in due time.
Yes.
Are you from Texas originally?
Yes.
Also the Dallas area?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
what when you were at your MFA program, what kind of television did you write and what's your genre? What are your favorite?
Mostly drama, thrillers.
Hour-longs.
Yes.
Nice.
That's always been my
Nice.
wheelhouse.
And is that where you're most comfortable in verticals too?
I would say so, but as a vertical writer, you're a writer for hire, so you write what they tell you to write. And I think as a professional writer, you have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I've written rom-coms and romances, and but yeah, I'd really like to write more thrillers.
Nice.
Because that's really my wheelhouse.
Well, it sounds like that's one of your personal goals in the vertical space. Are there any other personal goals that you have moving forward?
Yes. Definitely working with the American apps that are happening. I'd love to work with Shara TV when they launch.
I know they're very mysterious. It's hard
I
to
know.
find
I'm
out
like, what are they
information.
doing? I've emailed them and they've responded. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
They're all women, which is nice.
yeah, it's very female focused and female protagonist driven. So that really excites me. I'd love to see more about what they're all about. But yeah, I'd like to work with the American apps to see, because I feel like they are going to do more groundbreaking things.
Yep. Yeah.
Take more chances.
Yeah, they are.
And that excites me.
Yeah. Well, that's what we got for you,
Those
Dena.
are our questions. Do you have anything else
Anything you want to talk to us about, or our audience?
Oh, just if you want to work in this space, really, really study it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I certainly get a lot of phone calls from my Hollywood colleagues being like, "What is it? How do I get into it?" And I'm like, start from the bottom.
Yes.
Like, learn. Don't come in here with your, with an ego and think that, yeah, this is easy and it's a side project. It's not. I work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week trying to make this work.
Yes.
And, I think you need to put in your due diligence. There's a lot of people that have been doing this for a long time that have built up credibility and respect in this space. It's a different space. It's not a side project.
Yes.
I'm going
Definitely.
to say keep writing too, right? Because I noticed that people on the threads have written a sample and they feel like one sample is going to get them in.
Yeah.
And it's probably not. Like just like any type of writing, screenwriting, pilot writing, just keep writing. Every effort is going to get better.
I think it also helps to have samples in multiple genres.
Absolutely.
And kind of show what you can do and what you're interested in and what you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't
Definitely.
just think like you wrote one sample and you're done. Like
Right.
keep writing.
Yeah.
I think VertiGals has to be the main event for you.
Yeah.
If you want to make it in this space, it has to be what you're focused on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, thank you again for joining us. And we've loved having you. This has been such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dena.